You've been told two completely opposite things about getting what you want. On one side, it's believe, visualize, keep your faith completely unshakable. And on the other side, it's let go, detach, stop needing it so much. And if you look at your own life, both have probably worked. Like there were times when you were certain and it happened, and times when you stopped caring and it showed up right after. So you're left wondering what's actually going on. Because if you can't explain it, you can't repeat it. By the way, if you're meeting for the first time, my name is Prakhar. I'm an ex-corporate lawyer turned entrepreneur. I've built companies, I've negotiated multi-million dollar deals, and what I'm sharing is not just theory, it's lessons learned under real-world pressure and high stakes. Now, I want you to think about the last time you really wanted something. Not casually, I mean something that actually mattered to you. Let's take an example of a guy, let's call him John. Let's say John has been working on a deal for months now. He's put real time, real effort, and if this deal goes through, it actually changes things for him in a meaningful way. Now, if you think about what John must be feeling internally, do you think he's relaxed about it? Or do you think his mind is constantly going back to that deal? I mean, if John is like most people, he's highly likely that he's replaying conversations, he's checking his phone constantly, he's looking at every email, trying to find every signal. Now, what makes this even more interesting is John is not a nervous person. He's not someone who second guesses himself generally, but this one thing is very significant. And that significance is actually the clue, because when something starts to feel like it carries your future inside of it, when the outcome starts to feel like the proof of something, that's when the grip, it really tightens. And that's when you just stop wanting something, you actually start needing it. And those two states, they feel similar from the outside, but they're completely different from the inside. That state John is in, that's actually the problem. And it's not that John is doing anything wrong over here, it's just how we all as human beings are wired. When something starts to matter a lot for us, when it feels like our future depends on it, we kind of get into this high alert mode and we start to see the gap between where we are and where we want to be. And we see that gap being bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And when that state shows up, you don't have to necessarily announce it to the world that you're desperate or you're anxious. It just comes through in how you show up. Like people around you can feel it. The energy you bring into a room, the way you carry yourself, everything reflects it. And the painful irony is, the more John wants this to work, the more that wanting starts to work against him. And it's not because the universe is punishing him for caring, but because of what that state does to how he actually shows up in every conversation, every follow-up, every room he walks into around this deal. Now I want you to pause for a second and relate this to your own life. Now it might not be a deal for you, maybe it's a person, maybe it's an opportunity, or maybe it's something you've been working toward, but you probably have something right now that feels a bit like this. Somewhere where you're supposed to be detached, but honestly you're not. And every time you try to let go, you find yourself right back in it. And now that's not a mindset failure. It just means that this goal has started carrying way more meaning and significance and importance than it probably should. And that's what we're untangling here. Now, John, in other areas of his life, he's actually pretty solid. He's good at sales calls, he's good at managing his team, he's good at a lot of things. But if you notice how he shows up in those situations where he's good, he's not overthinking it. He's not like running worst case scenarios in his mind before going on a sales call. He just walks in, does what he does, and he trusts that it's going to work out. There's just this, kind of ease there, because he's not trying to convince himself. He just expects it to go fine. That's belief. That's what it actually looks like. Now, if you think about what it would look like if John could bring that same energy back to this deal, I'm not talking about the fact that he stops caring or he acts like it doesn't matter, but he gets to a place internally where it's more like, I want this, I'm going for it, but I'll be fine even if it takes time. Then he's not checking it every single hour, he's not overthinking everything, he's just a lot more steady. And if you compare those two versions of John, the one on a regular sales call and the one he could be with this deal, they almost feel identical from the inside. He still wants it, it's just not running his state anymore. That's why both things people say, believe and also detach, they seem to work because they're not opposites. They're two different roads to the same place. And once John gets there, once you get there, things start to move differently. Now there's actually something even deeper underneath all of this that I think is worth naming, which is that some of the goals that we're chasing, they're not even ours to genuinely begin with. And that changes the detachment conversation entirely. I've covered that in a separate video. I will add the link in the description down below. You should definitely check this out after this video. A very simple way to think about all of this is, it's like an elevator. You walk up, you press the button for your floor, and then what do? You don't press it again. You don't stand there staring at all of those numbers, wondering if the elevator hurt you. You're not going to start panicking about whether the elevator is coming, right? You just wait. You check your phone, maybe you think about where you're going, and you let the elevator do its thing. Because you've used enough elevators to trust the process. Now imagine someone else walks up, they press the button, and instead of just standing there, they press it again and again and again. Now they're watching the numbers and they're getting more and more agitated about why is the elevator not here yet. It's the same floor, same button, same machine, but a very different experience. And this is exactly what most people do when it comes to the things that they really want. We set the intention and then we spend every day mentally standing at the elevator door, pressing the button over and over and over and asking, why is it not here yet? That second state, that's what gets in your way. Your job is not to manage the elevator, it's to press the button, trust that it's on its way, and then you get on with your day while it does what it does. Now, since you've understood all of this, what do you actually do with this? I want you to just pick one thing, not your whole life, just one thing that you're currently holding too tight, and ask yourself honestly, if this doesn't happen, will I still be okay? Not happy about it, but will I still be okay? If the answer is yes, you've already started to loosen the grip on it, because that shift alone changes how you show up. But if the answer is, I'm not sure, then that thing has started carrying more weight than it should. It's no longer just a goal, it's become proof of something. Maybe it's a proof of your worth, maybe it's a proof of the fact that you're on the right track. That is why it's so loaded. And that's the thing you need to untangle. Now the second thing is, set your intention once. John doesn't need to wake up every single morning and go through a whole ritual around the deal. He just needs to be clear. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going for. I'm going to fully show up for it. That's it. Once. And then bring your attention back to today. What can John do today that moves things forward, regardless of whether the deal closes this week or not? What can he improve in his pitch? What can he improve in his process, his relationships? What's worth building right now that is not sitting around waiting for one outcome? That's where the real energy goes, because the people who get what they want, they're not the ones who want it the hardest. They're the ones who stay in motion, stay grounded, and they trust the process while continuing to build. Belief versus detachment is not really a debate. It's just two ways of getting to the same place where you want something, but it no longer runs your state. And there's one deeper layer to this, which is that, are the goals you're chasing even yours, or something you picked up from the society and expectations around you? Because then no amount of detachment actually fixes the tension. I have broken that down in a detailed manner in another video. I will actually add the link in the description down below, and I will see you there.